They target areas. They say, hey, there's a robbery pattern going on. There's homicides. There's burglaries. We need to go out there. We need to target these areas and keep the good people, the 99% of the community that is good. We need to keep them safe from the 1% who are looking to victimize them. That's how that works. I worked anti-crime in the 4A precinct from 98 until 2000 as part of my patrol. I did 12 years as a patrol cop in the 4A, 12. And when I responded with my Irish partners, with my black partners, with my gay partners, with my brown partners, we didn't care what you looked like. We didn't care what religious denomination you were from. We didn't care what God you worshiped. We went there to lay our asses on the line and our lives on the line for you, regardless of your skin color and everything else. And that's what police work is all about. We do not hunt. We do not hunt based on skin color. We hunt criminals. That's who we hunt. Police are not inherently racist. That is a garbage narrative, okay? There are over 850,000 sworn law enforcement officers in the United States of America, okay? And that doesn't include our volunteer, part-time cops, auxiliary, okay, all those people. There are over 850,000 Leos in the United States of America, okay? There are thousands of interactions between police and people of every color every day that happen without incident. Thousands. And that won't make the news because it's what we do. It's our oath, and we adhere to it. Thousands of armed criminals are taken into custody. Thousands of unarmed criminals of every color are taken into custody, pushing a narrative that Dylan Roof was taken to the Wendy's to have a burger after he shot up a black church is garbage. It's garbage because that is called rapport building. I did it when I worked homicides in the Bronx. I did it when I worked international terrorism on the Joint Terrorism Task Force for 7 years. Okay, I brought somebody food to build rapport, to get them to cooperate so that we can bring them to justice. Okay, because it doesn't start and stop with us. The justice system has to back us up. If the justice system doesn't do their job, then what we do means nothing. Nothing. Police officers in 2019 shot 1,000, they shoot on average 1,000 people a year, okay? 14 unarmed blacks and 25 unarmed whites. Those are facts. Those are not feelings. Facts before feelings, okay? The numbers are down over 60% since 2015 of police-involved shootings. Okay? There are over 7,000 black homicide victims a year. Over 7,000 black and brown homicide victims a year. I can say it. I'm a brown person, okay? The police are not the enemy. Okay? Police account. Police account for 0.02% of black homicides in this country. 0.02%. We make over 10 million arrests a year. 10 million. Facts, not feelings, facts. 10 million arrests a year. 10 million. An average of 27 deadly weapon attacks happen on cops, against cops on a daily basis. Okay, deadly weapons. Cops are attacked with deadly weapons an average of 27 times per day around our country. Who cares? Do the politicians care? Some of them do. A couple of them are here, right? The governor doesn't care. Mayor de Blasio doesn't care, right? They want to criminalize us. They want to make us look like we're monsters, like an occupying army. We are not. We are not.
Repopulate Albany.
We are not. Now, there's defunding the police business, right? $1 billion was taken away from the NYPD. Okay? We had almost a 300% increase after the anti-crime and street crime units were disbanded. Almost a 300% increase in shootings and homicides over that period of time. Facts before feelings. Okay? Those are facts. And not one was committed by a cop. Not one. And go to Chicago, and go to Detroit, and go to Cleveland, and go to LA. Not one was committed by the police. Okay? Not one. Facts before feelings. Defunding means poor training. Okay? The police that are still willing to go out there and lay their lives out on the line, lay their lives down on the line for ungrateful people. The majority are grateful, but there are those ungrateful people, and we'll respond just as fast for the ungrateful as we do for the grateful. Make no mistake about it. We patrol and we do our jobs without prejudice. Okay? Defunding the police and taking money from the police leads to less tactical training. Okay? Less specialized units. Okay? Less missing persons detectives to look for your lost daughter or son, right? Who's running around in a gang in the city, right? Being sex trafficked, right? You want to defund ICE. They call to defund ICE. ICE is a huge law enforcement entity in this country. Okay? They protect us from human trafficking, drug trafficking, gun trafficking. Okay? It's ridiculous. You defund the police, you are going to hurt the people you are purportedly protecting the most. The black and the brown people of the inner cities of this country. We saw Chief Monahan down at the NYPD, Chief of Department. I worked for him in the 48th Precinct, okay? We saw him take a knee, right? We saw him take a knee. And listen, with those stars comes politics, okay? Make no mistake. Make no mistake, okay? And he caved to the pressure, and he did what he thought was best at that time. I believe he's an honorable man. I support him. I support the fact that at that moment in time, he felt that was the best decision to make. But now let's fast forward to a few days ago on the Brooklyn Bridge. What happened to Chief Monahan? He was beaten with a cane and he broke his finger, right? He was assaulted, okay? During a peaceful march with the community and the police department across the Brooklyn Bridge that was well coordinated with religious leaders and black leaders and police leaders, and they were hand in hand, and they were peacefully marching across the bridge, and he was assaulted. Okay? Him and many other members of the service. And guess where that perpetrator who hit him with the cane is right now? Back on the streets, because our district attorneys do not support us. Okay? They don't. And this is nothing new. This is nothing new. I was in a shooting in 1993. I was on the street 11 months. The guy who shot at me, I arrested him. He had 17 decks of heroin on him, and he was on parole. And guess where he was 6 hours later?
Out on the street.
Out on the streets, and this is 1993. I became a cop when I was 8, by the way. All right? I was part of the Doogie Howser program. The politicians and the district attorney's office, some politicians, sorry, do not support us. Without their help, without their support, we cannot do our jobs effectively. And to that end, without the community, the police cannot do their jobs effectively. If people don't call in tips, if people don't talk to us, if people don't let us know what's going on, if that old lady in the window on her pillow, who knows everything about everybody in that building, doesn't talk to the police, we will never be able to do our jobs effectively. And the community will never be able to live in peace and prosper without the police. We need each other. And all this garbage has to stop. All this garbage has to stop. We cannot throw the baby out with the bathwater. Okay? Like I said, 850,000 sworn law enforcement officers in this country. If 1% are bad, it's one too many. But it's not the majority of the police. No one hates a bad cop more than a good cop. Nobody. So, again, I'm going to close this with a few words, right? Cops are only as effective as their leadership and their politicians and the system allows. We are the front line. When we say we are the thin blue line, we are the front line between chaos, anarchy, and a good, healthy, safe community. Okay? Every stop that we go on, whether it's a car stop, whether it's every job, whether it's a car stop, whether it's a domestic violence call, whether it's a burglary call, whether we're stopping to help a disabled motorist on the side of the road, could lead to death. We leave our homes and we never know if we are coming back in one piece. Okay? You tell me what you would say. All these people that hate us because of our uniform and our oath. What will you tell our children when they are left to be raised with either one parent or no parent because we were killed defending people who hate us? What will you say to them? What will you say? All right, well, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to close with this. On July 4th, 2020, 26-year-old police officer Anthony Diaz was on patrol in Toledo, Ohio. He was called to a domestic disturbance, right? A rowdy person at a Home Depot parking lot. He engaged with the subject who was intoxicated. They had some back and forth. The gentleman, lack of a better term, turned to walk away. Officer Diaz turned and he was shot fatally in the chest by this individual. And as he lay there dying, he called dispatch.
Yep.
Okay?
It was so sad.
And the last words that he said were, "Tell my family that I love them." He said it twice. And then he died. 26 years old, 2 young boys and a wife. What say you who hate us? What say you? In 2017, I helped coach Warwick Wildcats freshman football team to an undefeated season. Okay? And every time one of my players made a good play or did something outstanding, they knew that they were going to hear my big mouth screaming to them, "I see you, kid." Well, all of you law enforcement, all of our families, all of our wives, our husbands, our children, our parents, our cousins, our friends of every race, creed, color, and denomination, I see you and I love you. Thank you. Back to Blue.